Here is why it's not a good idea to build on your spouse's family land. For one, you may not be able to make a legal claim against the land in the case of a divorce or a breakup of the union. You may not be able to show that you got the consent of all the family members who are deemed to be owners of the land. Even if you receive the consent of your spouse, that consent may not be able to bind all the other owners of the land. Therefore, no legal relationship in law is created as a result of that one person giving you consent. And also, that multi-million-dollar project may just become a part of the land. In this jurisdiction, there is no distinction between the house, which is a permanent fixture, and when I say permanent fixture, I mean once you have laid a foundation, poured cement, erected steel, and so on, it becomes a permanent fixture of the land, and therefore it becomes a part of the land. Chattel houses are different, which are not part of the land. Therefore, a chattel house can be lifted up and carried away. So that is a different aspect of things. But I'm talking about block and steel. Those are permanent fixtures of the land, and they become a part of the land. The land is permanent, but the house is considered to be improvement to the land, and they run with the ownership of the land. So whoever owns the land will own the house as well. Also, can you imagine if one person owns the land, another person owns the house, and another person owns the foundation? That would be chaos in law. There would be endless disputes in the courts, and therefore the law made it simple. One title, one ownership. If there is a house that is a fixture on the land, it becomes a part of the land. And you cannot sell it, you cannot mortgage it, and you may have to leave it without being compensated for it once you cannot show that you got the proper consent to build on the land. Also, you have to consider whether or not you got the relevant authorities' approval to build. Remember, you have the Town and Country Planning Act, which stipulates that you need a building permit in order to build. Also, you have the Building Act, which deals with standards on how much steel and so on to put in a particular building to make it sturdy to withstand hurricane, etc. Then you have the Local Improvements Act, which deals with subdivision and subdivisional developments in Jamaica. And then you have the Natural Resources Conservation Act, which deals with larger developments, and there you have NEPA coming into play, and you may have to get approval from NEPA as well when it comes to large scale developments. Therefore, you have to stop and think about all of these things. Also, when it comes to family land, you may not, because of the family who may be living on the land as well. You may have uncles and aunts, you may have parents of your spouse, you may have brothers and sisters and cousins in case of a dispute. Can you even open your mouth? There are so many persons, an army of persons, ready and willing to break bones if necessary. So be wise. Think about these things, right? Even though you may be able to show that you have all the receipts to show that you bought everything to do with the building. Everybody knows that it is your house. They saw you building it. It may still not be yours in law, and you may have to walk away and leave it on the land. All right? So therefore, if this caused you to think, like, share, and follow for more. God bless you. Until we meet again. Amen.